comments. Do you have any suggestions on rollout and timeline from your experience? We're trying to get a sense of, we gather this is an incremental process, but how long it'll be taking us to ramp this up. Do you have a sense from your other experiences?
My experience tends to be in the governance and institution support rather than in hiring in the auditors general. But I do agree with you that it's incremental. You would want to focus first on getting the right person in place and then trusting that person's decisions and direction on where they wanted to take and what they wanted to follow in terms of running their office.
So from a governance standpoint, then, do you have a sense of how the Auditor General Committee would interface with Council and the public?
Yeah, absolutely. Having an audit committee or Auditor General Committee, an accountability committee is also another name, because essentially that's really what they do. That should be established sometime in line with when the Auditor General is hired, so that they can receive any audit reports that are coming out of the office. Typically, Auditors General will take requests from councillors, but as they are independent, the setting their audit plans is ultimately up to them. Although because they are there to serve councillors, they do want to make sure that the work plans they have in place is going to be something that's going to provide information to you that is useful.
And then about the public and the interface with the public. We heard earlier some comments about, a tip line or call-in line. How would the public be able to interface with this office and also the committee?
With the Auditor General's office, typically, as you mentioned, there are often fraud and waste hotlines that are housed within the Auditor General's office, often for the purpose of having some protection there and being separate from city management. And there are sometimes other ways that Auditors General will interface with the public in terms of getting insight into how programs have run. It really varies with the audit committees and what their exact focus is. If the focus is on audit reports only, then it's appropriate to bring in somebody, citizens or groups of citizens, if they're mentioned and relevant to the audit report. And sometimes that's the case, but it really can depend on the mandate of that audit committee. It's certainly beneficial for citizens to have that, because to hear it, maybe if they're not contributing to it, but to be hearing from it, because they get a lot of transparency in terms of what's going on with city dollars, how senior management in the city plans to deal with any recommendations that come out of audit reports. That's typically public.
I'll have to leave it